Why are these philosophy vids going viral? Welcome to Socially Inept Thoughts. My name is Clint. If you guys could please like, comment, and subscribe and share. It goes a long way for the channel. I love the growth of this channel. So yeah, let's get back to the video. Look, you guys know what I'm talking about. Philosophy vids. And I've thought about, is this really what I'm doing? I don't really, I do use a hashtag philosophy, but that's just for YouTube purposes. Look, I guess with stuff I talk about, it's a form of philosophy. It's ideas. It's a way of thinking, kind of deeper introspectively. In some cases, I don't really think it's that deep per se, but there's a lot of these guys who just set up a camera and talk. Very little editing, nothing crazy on the thumbnail, and it's just a guy spurting shit, right? That's really what philosophy is. It's a guy in his 20s, the mid-30s, white dude, speaking about life in a general sense that requires no evidence, no scientific research, no actual, education. We just go off the vibes and experience, It's like that one skit. I was listening to a comedy clip, and it was pretty funny. The guy was like, bro, he's like, we just have to get the DraftKings, bro, with the Crystal Girls, and then they would have the most dominant lineup ever. Example is this guy who's been going pretty viral, past 3 or 4 months, named Jett, Franzen. And I think he partially inspired, I was already thinking about, I already started this channel before I even came across, but I think because I was kind of doing already, and I post some in my algorithm, it started pushing this stuff to me. And it's just a guy, I think he's actually 22, which is crazy. And he's just in his parents' unfinished basement. And it just starts the video. You can see him press it, and it's just him talking about, whatever, about self-control or about, why even try in today's society type of thing. It's those type of things. And I'm a little bit more, I would say it's similar but different. I'm outside, there's traffic behind me, so it's not exactly a controlled environment, which I kind of like it, When I'm out here, I'm a lot more free thinking. And I think the reason why these philosophy vids, these guys just spurting out, one, I think there's a relatability aspect. It's people that are speaking what most people think to themselves out loud. Think about where there's a safe avenue here. It's people, they come on YouTube and they just want to listen. They want to watch for entertainment, and they want to watch sometimes when they seek out, just stuff that resonates. It doesn't have to be anything that deep. It doesn't have to be anything funny. It could just be something you thought about and your algorithm knows it. It's hey, you having problems here? Here we go. Here's a dumbass. But I really think, in my point of view, the reason why these type of vids are going viral and that it's kind of developing its own corner in space where it's almost as prevalent as a lot of these highly produced stuff. And you're you look at the Jett Franzen guy and this channel that's starting to get, a little bit of traction on a small scale. These type of channels, man, they're gaining traction because they're kind of it's what YouTube used to be. And what YouTube has become, everything is so highly produced. There's such a high expectation from a viewer standpoint to be highly produced, highly, really good audio, really good. People will click on a video. If the audio is just 5% off of what they like, they'll just click off it, not even give you a chance. That's just the way it is. We are so conditioned because of these professional. A lot of YouTube, it's become a professional business. People are putting millions, thousands and tens of thousands of dollars into videos. Mr. Beast puts millions of dollars. Now that's a whole different scope, but even podcasts, where it's just guys in a studio talking about stuff. They're spending thousands, tens of thousands of dollars just to put out an episode in these high scale podcasts. And they're making great money doing it too, because they have a whole team that can edit, put out this, and, really produce a show and it looks professional. And there's a lot, and the thing is, there's a lot of people that don't get any viewerships, that don't get any subscribers, that don't really have a fan base, and they're putting some high level production and no one watches it. Then you get assholes like Jett Franzen, who's literally looks like he's recording off a webcam, and he's got 108K subscribers in 4 months, just talking in 10-minute clips about whatever. Just a 22-year-old guy that if a 50-year-old were to listen to him and be like, this guy knows nothing about life, dude doesn't have a job, like that, that's the type of shit you're going to get, right? So why are these type of videos going viral on YouTube and really kind of like taking over? Well, it's kind of like counterculture now. Everything has become really, I really believe it. And I've noticed it myself, like I have my algorithm and it gives me, you know, the big YouTubers I watch, like Abba and Preach, which I wouldn't call them like highly produced, but even they used to be just stripped down, hear the squeaky floors, and now, you know, they're kind of like commentary reaction channel. And even now, they've got like a whole production team. They've upgraded the studio, because there probably comes a point where if you have the money and stuff, you know, improve the quality if you can. But everything, you know, from these big New York, LA comedy podcasts, like they put so much time and effort to have two people talk about whatever. You know, camera angles, they have a producer behind the thing and all this stuff. And they're spending thousands, tens of thousands, sometimes millions of dollars to produce these podcasts over a year. And it's one of those things to where, why is some asshole that just, you know, just talks into a camera, why are they getting monetized and they're making money on ad revenue? Why is that asshole? Now I'm not calling him an ad, I'm calling like this space, like how come this is like making a prevalent? I think because we are so used to, in our algorithm, right? Like we have our section where it's like the proven YouTubers, the ones, not even YouTube, but the proven commodities, ones that is highly produced, is like watching TV. YouTube is literally, even not YouTube TV, but actually just like YouTube, like it looks like professional shit. There's professional products, people that spend money, people with teams, people with production, like people that put great effort into all that stuff, sponsors, all this stuff. And sometimes I think we're conditioned, like we watch this stuff and we like it, we enjoy it, and then sometimes it's like you need a break. It's kind of, and it's basically like if you sat in front of a TV for 5 hours, right? You would like watch TV, and then when you want to watch something that's more relaxed and it's not like so scripted, or it's not, you would just go on YouTube and watch some, you know, silly Fred videos back in the day, you know? You would just watch like some person on YouTube who just posted something in their bedroom. And it's kind of like a detox from this highly produced, scripted intensity on TV. But now I also think, because even there's the highly produced shows that get traction and viewership, then there's the and then there's the highly produced shows that people are doing individually. They put so much time into the camera, the audio, and they're not really getting a whole lot of traction yet. They've been doing it for a while. I've seen it. And that's not criticizing. I'm just saying, like, there are people like with crisp, amazing audio. There's people with great, amazing editing, coloring, and all this stuff, and no one watches and continues to watch for whatever reason. It could be like they just don't have much of a personality. They don't really have takes. I think the philosophy side of whatever this is, I guess you could call it, it's kind of like its own entity. It's a protective place. You know, I think here's what I wrote down for it. If I can pull up my phone real quick. Like I said, everything has become so highly produced that it's almost like YouTube. It mentally separates TV versus YouTube. And there's an old school feel to it. It's counterculture, which we as humans always want to restore in us, which is comfort. It's human nature in us, like when we see these podcasts with 4 or 5 million, we see, these highly produced shows and people, and then you see, there's this other guy named Billy Joel Jr., I think, or Terry Joel Jr. He's just a guy, and he sits, he's like, I think woman hate me. I hate women. And it's like, I don't think I'll ever find a relationship. I honestly think that ship has sailed for men. Like, that's how we talk. But it's just some guy sitting in his apartment, a nice apartment I may add, and every day it's just posting about, how relationships are doomed. And it's a lot of it because at the end of the day, I think someone like him, someone like Jett, and I guess for people that like watch this, there's a much more relatable aspect of people who aren't, famous, that aren't like big in the real world, that you could tell like we do this because we just feel like it's enjoyable. Like, y'all are closer to relating to us. If you were to see like us on the street and talk about this shit, you would get much more of a real life perspective from ones like us than a lot of these big, out of touch, highly produced, where they're so worried about how they're viewed that they lack vulnerability. And we confuse vulnerability with someone who like overshares about themselves. Like, we watch these, like, I'll say like the Flagrant Pod, right? I think they're a great example. Like, sometimes, you know what? That's actually not a great example. I'll say like Two Bears in One Cave, right? It's a comedy podcast. And I used to actually, during the pandemic, it was actually pretty late. They have good guests. And, it was like I was listening and watching so many podcasts. It just became like, it's on every Monday and Wednesday. I knew like when I tune into this, it's going to be nothing too serious. But then what happened is it became just like a therapy session. It became just, two rich guys venting, and it's not even funny anymore. They're just sitting here either complaining or they're sitting here venting about, the stress of what it's like being a comedian and all that stuff, which, I don't mind it. I'm not someone that minds hearing that stuff, but it really became like we come to these shows for escapism, and sometimes these highly produced YouTube TV shows, let's just call it what it is, they're less relatable. Like, where, like the second you click like my video or Jett's or, this other guy I talked about, when you click the video, you can tell instantly if you're a new listener, like, this guy has no production team whatsoever. And this is just like, hey, I feel like this is something, a relatable thing, a relatable topic, a relatable subject that I feel like is something I thought about, is something I wrote down in my notes, and feels like this is something people might care about. And the universe kind of rewards that. We are seeking, what do we care about? And a lot of what is fed to us is what's telling us we should care about. When deep down in the back of our mind, we know what we care about. We know what we worry about. We know what we think about. And more of us, it's not just my belief. I think it's really like, there's probably some type of study or there's some type of deep Marcus Aurelius thing. We all think the same shit. Only a few of us are willing to just put it out there and say it. Say it with the chest. But no, like, some people come from the school of, not every thought you have should be shared. That, there's certain things you just don't share with the world. There's certain topics you just don't talk about, When most people, there's a lot of people thinking what you're thinking, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent thought. You can always find a fan base, you can always find a group, a community that's thinking that same thing. So you might as well put it out there and see who's in your community of that thought. And the thing about, this channel, since it is predominantly towards men, because I'm a guy, I know how guys think. I know what it's like to be complete bottom, what means that, like, living a pretty good life. I know what it's like being on one side of a woman, the other side. And just that, because there's always a space for that. And because the thing about stuff like that, it does not matter if it's an 18-year-old or 40-year-old. I've had comments from 50-year-old dudes that are saying, man, like, you think, like, very mature. Like, the way you think, you're on to something. And I'm pretty sure there's like 20 other guys that are just talking about shit. But I guess I just am consistent and persistent with putting it out there, And I'm not afraid of people not agreeing with me. And the thing is, I think you can feel it from someone when someone is putting stuff out there to seek validation, and when someone is putting stuff out there to seek clicks and seeking viewership. Like, look, we put a video out, like, obviously I want viewership. Like, especially, like, obviously I actually recorded a video almost a month ago, and I haven't put it out yet. That's how ahead I am with this shit. And it's literally about the goals for my channel and really my life in general. And I was going to put it out like a week ago, but now the chance, but like it kind of eclipses, but I'm still going to put it out. But the point I'm saying when I say that, shit, what was my point? It's like, yeah, in there I say, yeah, I forgot how many subscribers. I want this amount of subscribers by the end of the year. I want this amount of this and all that stuff. And I always put, like, look, goals on paper, they're nice. But you can't just, like, hey, if it hits it, great. If it doesn't, it doesn't mean good progress wasn't made. But we all, like, obviously, if I put a video out, I want people to see it. I want this channel to be monetized. I would like to make money off of this one day, Hopefully, like, when that comes and I can grow this and have better quality and stuff. But there's also a part of me, I don't want to lose that eerie feeling that people gravitated towards this. Obviously, I had to do something about the background eventually. Like, I don't like a bunch of traffic going behind me, but I do like being outside doing this. The point I'm trying to make when I say that is, what is my point? I think if we're going to give our time and money and attention span to all these 2-hour plus shows that demand so much of us, and they do all the bells and whistles, but you don't really feel like there's anything you really take from it. It is just people passing the time by, where maybe with someone like that does some of this stuff, there's a corner of the internet where, when in doubt, like, you can not watch this stuff for like 2 or 3 months. You can be living life and all that stuff, and then something can happen in your life or whatever, and then, or maybe you're just in a down mood or relaxed one day. You're all in your thoughts and feelings about stuff, and then you come back to this space, because this video talking about this is just as beneficial 3 years from now as it is today when you watch it. And that's the thing, is like, these things are evergreen, I guess to say. They stand the test of time. So I just think that's why a lot of these philosophy, quote unquote, vids are kind of entering its own place in YouTube. So yeah,